Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you for part 3 of the best albums of 2021 so far video. And like I said, it's for part 3, so I'm gonna continue where I left off, which is, I think, number 18. So, yeah, let's continue where I left off, and I'll discuss what albums and what songs I liked from them and what I thought of each album. So let's start with number 18, which is Gojira Fortitude. Um, yeah, very good album. I personally love it. Born for One Thing was a really awesome song. Uh, Amazonia was really good. Another World I really enjoyed. Newfound has got to be my favorite. The chant is iffy. It's not a bad song. It's just I don't know if I like it as much. Um, and then Hold On was a really good one. Grind I really enjoyed. Um, Into the Storm was very good, and there were a few others too. Like the Fortitude track, it just goes oh. It just does that ohs thing and all that. And it sounds pretty good. Uh, so yeah, I didn't hate that, and it leads into the chant song, and then there was another song, um, but the Trails was a really good one, and yeah, at number 18 it was Gojira with Fortitude. Number 19 is Royal Blood with Typhoons. Now, this was a good dance rock kind of album with pop in it as well, but I enjoyed it. Boilermaker has got to be my favorite song now. It's grown on me more. Typhoons was pretty good. Limbo, um, sorry for yawning. Limbo was not too bad. Didn't hate Limbo as much. It just like I said, there's some songs on here that are not the best, but they do pretty good for the runtime it's going for, which there's deluxe edition tracks to it, Space and King, and they weren't bad songs. And sorry, I'm gonna get a notification. Yep, got a notification from a group chat I'm in. Um, yeah, One in a Million was a pretty good one. Uh, what else? Who Needs Friends was good. Mad Visions I really enjoyed. I like Mike Keir's vocals and majority of this album. And then there's another song called Hold On. How ironic. And All We Have Is Now was a pretty nice way to end the regular edition to the album. And Trouble Coming and Oblivion was my favorite one. I started liking Oblivion after repeated listens, so yeah, but Oblivion and Boilermaker have got to be my favorite songs, along with Either You Want It too, as well. Um, so at number 19, I picked Royal Blood with Typhoons. Number 20, I picked Ali and AJ with A Touch of the Beat, gets you up on your feet, gets you out, and then Into the Sun, which is a long fucking title for an album, but that's what they titled it. Um, it's a pretty good album. Uh, it may seem a little cheesy and cheery of an album for some people, like, oh, it's sunshines and rainbows kind of shit. But no, they talk about other topics in the album. Uh, but Paradise was one of my favorite ones. I really liked the melody to it. Symptom of Your Touch was, I don't know if my favorite. Break Yourself was iffy. Slow Dancing was pretty nice. And the first song, Pretty Places, was really good. Stomach is a favorite of mine, and so is the Don't Need Nothing. where they do mention the title of the album in the song when they're singing it. The touch of the beat gets you up on your feet, gets you out and then into the sun. Not the way I'm singing it, but yeah, if you've heard this album, I would highly recommend checking this album out, because it's not a bad listen. It's a pretty good listen, in my opinion. I thought it was a pretty good album, but there were a few iffy songs from the album. Listen was a good song too, so yeah. But at number 20, I picked Ali and AJ with a touch of the beat, gets you up on your feet, gets you out and then into the sun. Number 21, I picked George Raggin, The Dead Sun with The Abyss. This was a pretty good album. And I gave it like an 8.5 out of 10, but some songs have grown on me, but not every song on here is the best. Sorry again for my yawning. I don't know why I'm yawning so much. To be honest, I tend to do that sometimes. But this was a pretty good album. I like the last song. This was probably the most emotional album I've heard this whole year. I haven't heard anything this emotional in a while. Go to War was pretty sad. Uh, where there's a lyric in there that says the soul can die long before the body. And I'm like, damn, that's pretty deep. Pretty morbid a bit. But that's what George Raggin was going for. Also, he's the part of Hollywood Undead, which he's Johnny Three Tears in that band. And also, he's doing solo work now, and Charlie Sheen's helping him with this process or whatever that he's going with for this new solo work that he's trying out. Goodbye, A Farewell to Arms was really good. Broken Man was not a bad song. I just cringed at a few lyrics in it. Dear Ava was really nice. All Gone was pretty good. Bring Me Down I enjoyed. And there were some other songs. The Day I Die was really nice. That actually became a single, and I'm kind of glad it did, because it deserved to be a single. But yeah. Number 21, I picked George Raggin, The Dead Sun with The Abyss. Number 22, I picked Olivia Rodrigo with Sour. This was a pretty good listen. I wasn't sure if this was gonna be on my best albums, but it did pretty good for the runtime it was going for. It's only like 34 minutes, 34 or almost 35 minutes long, but Driver's License has grown on me a bit more after repeated listens. And Brutal was pretty nice. It made it feel like a hard punk rock kind of stuff. For some Gen Z people that or kids that want to listen to Olivia Rodrigo and other Gen Z artists that have come out nowadays. Some of the artists like this kind of are bringing back punk rock from the 90s and 2000s, so they're starting a new trend kind of stuff. So I don't hate it. Just some stuff I try not listening to if it's not an artist I'm crazy about. But yeah, Olivia Rodrigo did a nice job on her new album, so props for that album. So at number 22, I picked Olivia Rodrigo with Sour. Number 23, I picked DMX with Exodus. This was his, I believe, final album that he made. And what I don't like is when certain record companies decide to fucking make albums after they've passed away. Posthumous albums. Like they're doing it with Mac Miller, Michael Jackson. They're probably doing it with some other artists as well. Chester Bennington, Chris Cornell. Uh, and yeah, it's just ridiculous. I don't like that shit. Now they're doing it with DMX. I'm starting to. There was a few other artists, like Lil Peep is another artist that they're doing it with. But it's really fucked up, along with Juice WRLD too, and XXXTentacion, Triple XXXTentacion, or whatever his name is. But it's really fucked up. But I did enjoy this album, so at number 23, I picked Exodus by DMX. I'm sorry I didn't get to talk about some of the songs off the album, but yeah, I just didn't know what songs there were off the album, because it's been a little while since I've heard it. At number 24, I picked up Mice and Men with the Bloom EP. This was a pretty good extended play. I think there was one song called Levy, and then Bloom, and then the first track was a banger for sure. But it's been a little while since I've heard the first song, so I'd have to listen to this album, this extended play again, but it was really nice. And it was very good. So at number 24, I picked up Mice and Men with the Bloom EP. Number 25, I picked August Burns Red with their 10th anniversary edition for Leveler. This was an awesome album. Not the best thing, but it's pretty good for what it was going for. And I quite enjoyed it as a whole. But yeah, sorry, I'm just counting how many albums I talked about. But still, this was a very good album. I highly recommend you check this album out. This 10th anniversary edition for the 10th anniversary for Leveler. It's really enjoyable. I have to go back and listen to it because it's been a little while since I listened to it, to be honest. Not very long, but I'm gonna start listening to it again eventually. But at number 25, I picked August Burns Red with Leveler, the 10th anniversary edition. Number 26, I picked The Devil Wears Prada with Zombie 2, also known as Z2. This was surprisingly good. I know they made a album in 2019, and some people thought it wasn't that great. I don't know. I haven't listened to Devil Wears Prada as much, but they're a very enjoyable band. They are not that disappointing. So this was actually a pretty good release from them. So highly recommend you check this extended play out. It is an EP, so yeah, but it's only 20 minutes, so you're not in for a long extended play. So at number 26, I picked The Devil Wears Prada with Z2, also known as Zombie 2. And finally, I'm gonna do one more, and then I'm gonna end this video. Rise Against with Nowhere Generation at number 27. This was a pretty good album. Sooner or Later is one of my favorites. Nowhere Generation, the title track was really good. Talking to Ourselves was actually pretty good. The Numbers is one of my favorites for sure. Sudden Urge is another favorite of mine. And yeah, this was a really good album. Broken Dreams Incorporated is on the album too, so that's pretty awesome. Towards the end of the album, it gets really good. So you're not going to be in for a disappointing record from Rise Against. So at number 27, I picked Rise Against with Nowhere Generation. I will be returning to you for part 4 or whatever. I'm showing it the wrong way, sorry. For best albums of 2021 so far. So yeah, stay safe, take care, and I'll see you in part 4 of best albums of 2021 so far video.